and dudettes, how are you guys? Before I start this video, I realize I may not be entirely 100% in the center of my camera's field of vision. I've been trying for like a half hour here. I don't know, I can't position myself correctly. Let's just go with it, okay? Just bear with me here. Anyway, today's topic is gonna be about my favorite band of all time, Linkin Park, and as of course you guys know, you didn't need to watch my other YouTube video regarding this to know it, but Chester Bennington, their lead singer, died some months ago on July 20th. His death was ruled as a suicide by hanging, which is still hard to believe, but I try not to think too much about it. Now, I was a little uncertain about where the band was going to be headed after that happened, because I mean, when it comes to bands, you know, rock bands, like, everyone is important. Every single musician in the band is important, not just because of the instrument that they play, but the part that they represent, the place that they represent in the band. You know, each person has their own qualities and flaws that make up the band as a whole. And if a drummer leaves the band, or I'm not going to use death, you know, I'm just going to say if someone leaves a band, if like be it the drummer, the guitarist, the bassist, the rhythm guitarist, the keyboardist, whatever, I mean, some more notable musicians have their own style of playing, but in a nutshell, anyone can do what they do. Slash is a great guitarist. He plays his way, a certain way. Maybe Slash isn't the best example. Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine, who pretty much like revolutionized a certain way of playing the guitar the way he does. And if he leaves Rage Against the Machine, you can get another guitarist and put him there to replace him. He's not gonna play the same way that Tom does because he has a way of doing it, but he can still play the songs that he did, you know? But when a vocalist leaves a band, it's different, you know, because they're literally the voice, you know? And even if you're someone who plays instruments in real life and you pay more attention to the bass or the guitar or the drums in the background, the vocalist is always, his voice is always going to be the one that is most notable because, you know, we most listen to the lyrics of songs that we hear, you know? So it's really hard to replace someone, especially someone like Chester Bennington, who had just one hell of a voice, you know, be it melodic or screamo. He had such a voice, you know, and it's literally impossible to sing the way he did. You can put in another singer to replace him. I mean, that's pretty easy. I mean, just get someone else who sings. That's easy. What's hard is replacing him, Chester Bennington, as a singer, you know, the way he sung and the way he writes songs, and him as a person, you know. I mean, anyone can bring in another vocalist and replace their band member, but it's not easy, you know, when you get really deep into it. Now, Linkin Park, I don't know where they're going to be headed. I don't know where they're going to be taking the band after this bombshell. If they're going to be continuing and trying to get another vocalist, or if they're just going to disband, each one do their own solo projects. Mike Shinoda has Fort Minor, so he's good to go. I said in my other video, my tribute to Chester, that I think that the band should just stop. Just everything that they worked with Chester up until this point, you know, they could just leave it as sort of like a homage, an homage. I don't even know how to say that word, a tribute to him, you know, and pay homage to him. And I think that's what they should do, but whatever they decide, they're my favorite band and I've stuck with them for years now and they've never let me down. So whatever they decide, I know it'll be for the best, artistically speaking. But they are going to be releasing on the 15th of December this month a live album, you know, of their One More Light tour with 16 songs of Chester, you know, performing with them. And I think I don't know if this was originally included in their plans anyway with Chester, and or if they're just doing it now to honor him, but I think it's a pretty good way to do it, you know. Just give us that last little bit of him, you know, like that showed that he really poured his heart and soul into this album, and he really gave it his all during the tour, even if during the tour he fell into depression and killed himself, you know. He was still working really hard at it, and you can tell, you know, you don't have to be a genius to figure out that he was really into what he did. He was in love with what he did, and he loved his fans. And there are a lot of people calling Chester a coward for doing what he did. I honestly can't understand why, but at the same time, I mean, maybe just as someone who has suffered from depression in the past, like I know what it's like, and I know the feeling of thinking that there's no way out, you know, that there's no one around to help you. And I guess after so long, it just got to him, you know, because if a person is, they can have all the problems in the world, you know, they could have financial problems, mental problems, psychological problems, emotional problems, personal problems, academic problems, and they suddenly become rich. they solved all their financial problems, but they still have mental problems, psychological problems, emotional problems, academic problems, personal problems. The problems are all still there. So Chester is someone who had a very rough upbringing. You should know about that if you research him from time to time. And his life wasn't easy before Linkin Park. And even with Linkin Park, even with the fame and the fortune and all the fans, you know, I mean, he still had his inner demons. And unfortunately, after 42 years, they finally got to him. It's a shame, but at least we can console in the memory of him and what he gave to the world through Linkin Park and Dead by Sunrise and a bit with Stone Temple Pilots. And the live album that Linkin Park is going to be releasing, it's going to be releasing 3 days before my birthday, so I might get my hands on it as like a nice little birthday present for myself. And it's going to be a tribute to him, and sort of like what Linkin Park and Friends did in Celebrating Life in honor of Chester Bennington. It was a 3-hour live stream of a concert that they did on their YouTube channel. I couldn't bring myself to watch it because I was afraid of crying. I was too sad, but I will get around to it soon. I just couldn't watch it live. It was heartbreaking for me to see Linkin Park on stage without Chester. But anyway, this new album is going to be awesome, without a doubt. It's going to be the first live album they've released, not counting all of the Linkin Park Underground albums, but the first live album they've released since 2008's Road to Revolution live at Milton Keynes. Before that, it was Live at Texas, which I think is their best live album anyway. I think that Linkin Park's best live performance ever was back in Live in Texas, because they had just released Mid to Aura. They were still at the height, their peak of their career, and they were young, they were energetic, you know. And this live album is going to be something special, this next one, and I really love One More Life. That album changed me so much. It might just be my favorite album that they've ever released, and hearing it live is going to be quite something, you know. I'm definitely going to get my hands on it to listen to it, despite the pain of knowing that I'm going to be listening to someone who's not with us anymore. And, you know, whatever Linkin Park decides to do from here on out, I'm with them completely, 100%, and really excited for this album. And I really miss Chester, really miss him so much. And I guess that's it. Any of you guys who have watched my videos since the beginning, you've noticed that I've recorded a few videos about Linkin Park, and yeah. So I guess that's it, guys. I just wanted to say that, you know, share that with you, that I'm anxious for the album, and let's just see where it's gonna go. Recorded during their live performances during the One More Light tour, and 16 songs of Chester's very awesome voice live is going to be good to hear, soothing without a doubt. And I guess that's it. I hope you guys are as excited for it as I am. If you're a soldier, if you're a Linkin Park fan, hit that like button, you know, drop me a comment or two, maybe we'll talk, you know, compare our favorite albums, favorite songs, and all of that stuff. And that's it. Once a soldier, always a soldier. This is Igor Chesterfield signing out for now, and I will see all of you guys, as always, in my next video.